All right. Good. Okay, so we're going to convene the meeting at 7:05. Thank you. And we'll start with the, can I do this afterwards, Tom?
Big part?
Can I do this afterwards?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. By the end of the night.
By the end of the night. Okay, this is not my, this is this. Sorry, whole different thing. Good, okay, this is our New Rochelle Public Library Board of Trustees Public Budget Hearing. This is a call to order, and we start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And hello, Sarah's here. Lucille, can you text Brianna and see if Thank you for making it. No worries, we're good. We've just started. Thanks for Sarah. Okay, attendance, we're doing that. Okay, we're gonna review, can you hear me okay? Is this all right? Thank you. Okay, we are gonna go through our budget process. This is the annual budget hearing. We share with the public how we got to where we are right now. And it's usually the board president or the budget chair who makes this presentation. In this case, I am both of those people, so I'll try to be doubly awesome at this, if possible. So, we'll start with the process. Every year around December, January, Tom works with staff to develop, and Jean, and all of you wonderful people, to develop a budget for the following year based on trends from the prior year, perceived needs, and materials budget that seems like, that we are serving our tax-paying public and community properly by providing the most up-to-date materials. They look at staff positions, and then obviously we have contractual obligations that we always need to consider when we're looking at what kind of increase we're asking for. We also always try to look at what a flat budget would mean, meaning no increase at all. Obviously, we would still have to account for mandatory and contractual increases to salary and benefits, which means the omission of other essential functions and materials increases and positions. And if I'm missing anything, Tom, you'll correct me, please. So, right, so we always look at a flat budget, and then we look at iterative numbers. We start with, around the tax cap number. We look at a kind of a moderate increase, and then the within reason blue sky increase that we would all secretly love to have, but don't necessarily think that the public would support it or feel that maybe it's too much for that year, or we can finesse and ask for less. So I think this year our lowest number was still like 5%. The highest was in the 8s. And so we basically looked at what we were required to pay, and that amounted to somewhere in the realm of $315,000, and that was about 75% of what ultimately we have asked for, which is about $417,724.69. That is the total increase. We then find out from the city manager's office what that looks like for the average, right? The finance commissioner, what that looks like. We get that number because I think it really puts into perspective what it means for the average taxpayer and how much that money is buying, right? That you're contributing towards, and what that means for the community. So in this instance, the average taxpayer will see an increase of approximately $24.07 for the year over what they paid last year. That's an additional approximately $2 a month. And that incorporates the salary increases, which I think the number is, where is my number for salary increases? I think it's something, well, there's a delta, but together it's in the realm of around $300,000, because we also have a PASNY increase, which is the Port Authority of the State of New York. We did not pay or account for that increase last year. We have to do it this year. That amounts to $38,473.50. That's our electricity bill, basically. We have an increase in our cost for contracted services, primarily for minimum wage increase for the library security guards, and that amounts to $48,056. I mean, $48,056.34. And it's really worth noting that health insurance this year has gone up for us 12.5%. So, sorry, 12.2%. And the library doesn't pay 100%. The library pays an amount, 82%, and staff contributes 18%. But this increase is significant. It's $173,873, which is a large portion of the total ask. Everything else are the salary increases, and then the one other discretionary item, which we always kind of explain in the context of our strategic plan, which had 5 goals, one of which is to conduct more outreach, to do more programming for children and teens. This Library 1 position was identified by staff as being critical to the continued successful operations and programming for children and teens. And that is a Library 1 position, and the entire, it's called a school age outreach coordinator, and that entire package is about $85,000. So that all amounts to a 6.87% increase in the average homeowner's annual tax burden. The total tax levy is $6,500,404. Sorry, I hate saying this number. I should be quizzed on this. It's like 3rd grade. $6,500,404.39. And then we have these kind of comps, right? There are 39 libraries in Westchester County. Where do we stack up with respect to our expenditures on materials per per person? I think we're like 37th or 38th.
Materials.
For materials.
We're 29th.
29th out of 39. We pay this year it's $6.15 on average per person. We are, I think there's a really important number, which is basically this one. This is the number of paid staff, full-time equivalent, per each 2,000 people in our population that we're chartered to serve, and we are 37th out of 39. So that means that
Actually, 38.
38th out of 39, which
even worse.
Yeah, which means that we run a really kind of lean operation compared to the number of people that we serve and the amount of programs that we do. Okay, so we are 24th in our public support appropriated per capita out of 39. So all this is to say, we're asking this amount. We feel that it's fair for providing, being fair to the taxpayer, so that the taxpayer is getting the right bang for their buck on the one hand, and on the other hand, we recognize, this is an increase. We hope that a $2 per month increase feels good to the average taxpayer, considering what you get for it. And I don't know if there's anything else I haven't said, or if we should open it up for questions.
Just,
Yep, please add.
typically, the library budget, this budget that is in play, out of $1 that each taxpayer pays, the library, a portion is just over a penny, and that again is through the finance commissioner, so it's a fairly minor amount. And Whitney very eloquently shared the process on how this budget was created. She talked about the drivers that we could not ignore relative to increases, non-discretionary increases that relate to salary and health and utilities and our security guards, as well as a few non-discretionary increases that we believe are essential. Taking a step back, knowing that our per capita support is in the lower third tier, we yet nonetheless see lots of success in terms of service to our residents, and I have a list of comps that Whitney referenced earlier, a document that is published by the Westchester Library System that characterizes activity levels, for example, where we have the second most cardholders, number of residents that have library cards in the county. In terms of total hours open, we're third highest in the county, which I think compares to the size of our facility, the number of staff we have, which is fairly minimal. I mean, I could go on in terms of second highest reference questions asked. In terms of library programs, we're fourth busiest in terms of actual numbers. We have really big success in regards to internet sessions and Wi-Fi sessions. So while we think we run a library that is modestly funded per capita, we see success in terms of how the library is used by our residents, and those numbers are increasing in various areas. Our e-content is among the highest in the county. So, we think this is a prudent budget based on per capita support and the success we see in terms of activity in the library. And that's it.
And the one other thing I will say, and I forgot to mention the actual numbers, is that we asked Tom and Elizabeth and staff to share their request for the materials increase, which I did talk about, but I didn't share that process. They came to us with approximately $40,000 in requests for materials increase, and we asked them to kind of pare it down so we could still include a materials increase without it feeling like it was cumbersome. And so the amount that we agreed on was $18,865.17, which is less than half of what the original ask was, but we still feel that, it enables the library staff to do their job in picking out the latest and greatest to the best of their ability within the confines of that budget. Corey, on our budget committee, I don't know if you have anything to add, or, no?
No, I mean, we kind of went through the process.
Yeah, okay. And Rhiannon, who's not here, was also instrumental, and so thank you to my fellow budget committee members, and to Tom, Jean, Jessica, Elizabeth, and everyone else who offered questions. We really appreciate everybody's input for this. It's a group effort. No questions?
No one here.
All right, so what's next on the agenda when there's no questions? Public discussion, okay, we adjourn, it is 7:20. Good, sorry, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Good, any seconds?
I'll second.
Second, all in favor? Aye, great, okay, the budget hearing has now adjourned. And we can start right away, I believe, with the next meeting. Rhiannon's on her way, okay. Did she say, she's gonna be here for 7:30? We can wait for her, but we don't have to wait.
You don't have to.
No.
She can join me.
All right, we'll wait for Daniel to come back from the bathroom, how about?
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, thank you. I tried to get my husband to bring my children, Sarah. He's like, that's boring.
They've been wanting to come.
My
And-
children? Oh, your children.
Yeah, so.
Good job, girls. Good job.
When you said it was
Thanks
in
for
to be short. I was like, okay, this is.
You're being really good, Sarah, too.
Guys, is it super interesting? I hope you didn't jinx it. This is so interesting.
So cute. It's like, I was like, I may not do this forever. And he's like, mm-hmm. Meanwhile, my 78-year-old mother is like on the planning board, like running for her like third term
really?
up in Cape Cod. He's like, yeah, you're not going to be doing this for very long. I'll believe that when I see it.
82.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. So the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, huh?
No, my dad was on the library board in my hometown for a long time.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, and I like didn't remember that when I was running. Yes, and
I feel
active.
like, yeah, that would have.
And then I came out later, I was like, oh wait, this is like in my blood, I can't help it. My mom was like on the school board for 12 years. She's like a selectman, which is like a council member, but it's a little town compared to this. Gosh, they both
It's
of
like
them.
the town administration, the first selectman, second, third selectman,
I
right?
can't, yes, and she was
That's all.
chair, and then she was on the planning board, and now she's on the planning board. Like, I can't help it, it's like not an option.
Well, start prepping your daughter.
It's my son, my daughter's introverted and would never do this.
I'm surprised how kids change their involved.
It's true, actually, you're right, good point, I shouldn't say that, you never know.
Really?
You never know. All right, Daniel's
Yes,
back.
sir.
Okay,
Yeah,
we can
let's
get
go.
started. All right, let's just get started. Take advantage. Good, okay, so we will call to order the May meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Rochelle Public Library. We're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance all over again. You guys memorize it right now, so. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Hi, Rhiannon, we got an early start. 5 minutes.
Oh, you're right on.
5 minutes. Attendance already has gone around, I believe.
The
Everyone
sheet,
signed it.
where those sheets,
Oh, here they are.
give them to me. The public, not the public hearing.
Okay, we can just pass this to Tom. Thank you. Attendance, great. Minutes. Everyone, please take a look at the minutes from the April 13th meeting. Let me know if anyone has any comments. Okay. I will be honest and say I did not get a chance to look at this before tonight. Fully. It's good. Yes, okay. I glanced at it again. Does everyone feel comfortable voting on the minutes? Any questions or comments? Can I get a motion to approve the minutes? I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the April meeting. Can I get a second? Beth, second. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Those minutes are approved. Now we're at regular business. WLS report. Do we have something from Francis?
I did not receive a report.
I did not
I thought
either.
he would be here tonight.
I did too. Do you think he will show up and we could revert back if he wants
We
to?
absolutely could
Yeah, so let's
go
circle back. Okay, so we'll put a pin in that. President's report, I don't have a lot to say for right now. I'll just say, thank you to my fellow trustees for your presence and advocacy on behalf of our library's budget this budget season, and your support is obviously crucial, and there's been much more activity this year than last year with respect to neighborhood associations, so thank you very much. And don't forget to vote on May 16th, yes on the budget for the library. And I'm going to leave it at that and pass it on to Tom. Thank you.
Thanks, Whitney. Just some updates. We're busy, as usual. Elizabeth will share more about that. Regarding our state construction grants, I think you folks know that we're in the middle of realizing success and And final solution regarding the most recent project that we started, which was the third floor renovation. It's very exciting to see it move forward. We have the carpet down, painting is approaching. We're starting the process to frame out our study rooms, which can't arrive soon enough because these rooms are really being used heavy. We're also creating 2 conference rooms, which will also be available to the public. Other things that are moving forward, the electrician has been visiting our low voltage as well. We're waiting on the delivery of furniture, which we hope will arrive maybe in June and July, maybe into August. There are a variety of different vendors that we're dealing with, but it's exciting to see the space be transformed. As far as our Huguenot Children's Library grant, it's the grant that allowed us to purchase 3 new slimline air conditioning units for each level at the Huguenot Children's Library. They have been ordered. We're very happy to say that the building department has approved our permits, and now we're just waiting to hear from the contractor in regards to when they will start. We're hoping that it'll be in the near future, certainly before the weather gets warmer, but that's good news, and we're moving forward in that area. In terms of our fire stopping project, I just received an update from Doug Emilio, who is the principal of the architectural firm that's managing this. He tells us, that the project has been filed with the New Rochelle Department of Buildings, the authority having the jurisdiction. Starter construction is contingent upon their permit issuance. A construction kickoff meeting happened on March 27th. Submittals, including product data, have been submitted, approved by the design team, and returned to the contractor. Competitive bidding has been undertaken for the special inspection services for the required progress and special inspections for the work. Doug sent me that yesterday. However, today he provided an update regarding the permitting process, that there was a question about one element of the project. They are in the process of addressing that, and they fully expect that by the end of next week, the permit will be issued, and hopefully we'll have a schedule to share with you folks in the near future about the beginning of this important project. Let's see what else. Again, the most recent New York State construction projects that we're waiting on are still working through the New York State Library and the dormitory of the state of New York process. And of course, it's for the main library project is the noise abatement project that we were grateful to see funded. Of course, we are hoping that sometime within the next month or two, the State Library will make the announcement, the formal announcement that we've been awarded this project, and once that announcement is made, we expect to see the funds arrive probably in 2 to 3 months, which means September, October. For the most recent project, the third floor renovation, because of the pandemic, we saw the funds arrive in December, which was the latest ever. But we're hoping, because things seem to be returning to some sense of a normal status, that we'll see our funds arrive sooner, and then we can start on that project. The other project that year that relates to the Huguenot Children's Library is a series of upgrades that relates to various elements inside and outside the library. We're hoping that, again, that will arrive in the near future. Just in terms of other construction efforts, the community relations office renovation is entirely complete. Came out looking wonderful. The staff's very happy. If you folks have a chance, you should stop by and see that space. It looks very professional now. Before, it looked pretty tired. It had not been upgraded since the 70s, since the library was opened. And we're about to do the same, again, thanks to your support, in our adult services office. Again, an office that had not seen any improvements since the late 70s. We're moving forward with that. We think that we will probably begin the project in middle of June, where painting, flooring, and furniture will be installed. We've already done some low voltage work. We're starting to work on the electrical as well, so that's exciting. Let's see, what else is going on? Yesterday, we were given the opportunity to host a traveling exhibit. This exhibit has been sponsored by the Gilder Lehrman Institute of American History, which is a well-regarded organization that is connected with a number of academic universities. They do education, training, they do traveling programs, and one of our patrons, somebody that Whitney knows, Sarah Charles, reached out to us and said she discovered that we have the opportunity to showcase an exhibit here at our library for approximately a month. We had two options. The exhibit is called Who Can Vote? A Brief History of Voting Rights in the United States. We think that sounds like a great opportunity, and so after consideration of where we can mount this exhibit, and it's a series of panels that I'll share with you to take a look at. The gallery is out of the question because we have shows that are booked for that space, but we've determined that we could successfully locate it on the first floor right in front of the Community Relations Office, so where there'll be traffic, and so we're really excited about that. So I'll just pass it to Corey, look at it. So that's on its way, and the time frame will be, and I just had it right here, I think it's it's June 12th. Yes, June 12th is when it will be in place, and it will be with us through July 7th, which is a busy time in the library. So people will have a chance to take a look at it. And given the timing of our upcoming election, it's a good thing. Let's see what else. The other issue that Whitney and I have been talking about is sort of a pro forma component. Every year we are required to, thanks Corey, we are required to take stock of our activity levels in relation to circulation of materials, information about our finances, information about our collection size. The state wants to know about our programming, our electronic services. It really is a document that wants to know exactly what's going on in our library and all other public libraries. And it's a chore, it's a real effort. And Jean sort of leads the charge and corrals our departments into pulling together information. This year, Elizabeth was able to join the charge, and we were successful. We submitted it, and it's been given to WLS, but I do need a board approval of the document that has been approved by the county, and so I'm happy to share it with you folks too as well. But I would ask at some point tonight if we could have a vote to accept the annual report as submitted by our team to the Westchester Library System. And of course, these statistics just don't remain there, with the state of New York. They will actually take them and share them back with the county, and the comparative information that I shared with you earlier this evening is exactly our information along with the other 37 libraries, and WLS pulls them together and creates the comparative. Us and 37 libraries, 38 libraries, there's 38, yeah, give or take a library. But anyway, so it's a large effort, it's a really big effort, and I have to just say kudos to Jean, to Elizabeth, and all the staff that pulled it together. And I think it really shows the activity levels that go on here from children, infants, to seniors, our collection size, our finances. And, it's not an easy effort. The Mount Vernon Public Library has encountered many problems that relate to the fact that they have not submitted this report. And it's unfortunate. But, yeah.
Would we expect that this document reflects things that, say, Elizabeth is reporting to us every month on usage, and also that when we give these stats out to the public during budget season, that we are 37th out of 38 for this, and 26th, that is contained within that document? That is the data from which these reports are kind of aggregated and then shared, right? So that we're kind of finding the way to connect that.
Exactly. The report that you folks will hopefully vote on this evening will be repackaged, sent back to the Westchester Library System. They will pull it together and create these comparative charts that tell us how we compare relative to various financial issues, service issues as well, hours, cardholders, et cetera.
Thank you. So does everyone want to take a look before we make a motion? So everyone should just look, and then when the last person looks, we'll come back to making a motion to vote on that. And yes, Sarah Charles.
It's Sarah, not Sarah?
It's Sarah,
Okay.
yes. And she, I was in a book club with her for many years. So that's how I know her. So that's wonderful. Thanks. Tom.
Right, and just finishing up, as you folks know, the trustee handbook book club continues. The next event will be June 20th. It'll be from 5 to 6:30, virtual, financial planning and budgeting. We could probably speak to our issue. Right. So that's coming up, and that will help you meet your requirement for continuing ed. There's also an interesting option that I shared previously, and that will be available on May 17th from 1 to 4:30 at the Westchester Community College, and that is Attorney General Letitia James is presenting a charity symposium entitled Doing Well While Doing Good. And if a trustee chooses to participate in it, and it is in person, you will fulfill your annual 2-hour trustee education requirement. Final two things, the Friends of the New Rochelle Public Library, we're continuing to open its door on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Donations are still small, 2 small boxes or bags. Next Friends Board meeting is scheduled for June 13th at 1 p.m. We'll be in person at the library. And I just sort of want to follow up with something that we were a part of earlier last week, which is we attended 3 New Rochelle Municipal Housing Authority sort of public meetings where we had an opportunity to talk with the residents. And we shared our budget information. We talked about what was going on in the library, and they asked us questions and made requests. A request across the board at all 3 facilities was, could we start our own libraries? You know, could we have books to start our own libraries? I said, as far as I'm concerned, yes. I said, our Friends group is really this amazing group that receives donations and will provide, groups with books. And today, shortly thereafter our meetings, the Friends had pulled together 10 large boxes of books to share with the facilities at Sickles, Lockwood Avenue, and also Gracie. So book donations for children, teens, and adults have all been sent there, so it's great. And that's thanks to our Friends who not only said yes, but got on it pretty quickly. And so that's good news. The foundation is the next and final part of my report, and their board meeting is coming up. It's scheduled for next week at May 15th. We'll be in person at the main library. The foundation will begin the process of considering the library's Maine and Huguenot Children's Library fiscal year 2023-24 grant request once you, the board, have weighed in. I had sent those documents to you through email, and I've also included them in the folder, and it's my...
Is this correct?
Yeah. Oh, it's 23-24. Yeah, the noise abatement project. Yeah. This is the description of what's being done. And that's the project that the board approved last August.
Yes.
And we, as you know, for those particular projects, there's a match that the library needs in order to qualify for the grant money. And the longstanding tradition has been, for these projects, we ask the foundation to provide that matching money. And again, as you heard earlier, noise abatement project and the HCL facility improvement project. So those are the first 2 elements and priorities. Next on the list is the ongoing and popular Family Museum Pass program. After that, we are still continuing to upgrade our facility, as you know, and the children's room. The information desk storage issue has become a major problem. Lots of time has been spent in that room to upgrade it, make it more attractive and efficient, but if you've noticed the behind the scenes of the public service desk, it's really messy. Things are not organized in a cohesive fashion, and so we worked with a contractor to come up with a plan to redo that space and to make it look attractive, but also allow it to function more efficiently for the staff when they're working with members of the public. Unfortunately, in that room, when that room was built, it's not terribly large, and there's also virtually no storage space anywhere. So the back of the desk, the back of that back area of the desk is significant, and so this project will take care of that problem. And then, let's see, two more minor requests relative to cost at least. One is the proposal to expand the Wonder Book collection that the library introduced this current year, and that was thanks to foundation support, and it has become so successful they're looking to expand it to add more Wonder Books and also use and include a new product called iBox, which is a sort of an immersive reality sort of book that is very appealing, particularly to our patrons in which English is not their first language. And finally, as you folks know, we've had great success writing grants regarding the acquisition of Chromebooks and Wi-Fi hotspots. Daniel Ojeri, our IT head, wrote a grant, received 100 Chromebooks and 50 Wi-Fi hotspots, and we are looking to ask the foundation to provide license agreements that allows us to track these items when they're loaned. So if they are borrowed and we cannot, and a patron forgets to return them or loses them, we can track them, and that's a total of $2,799. So the grand total for the main library is $131,032. And there's a second grant that relates to the Huguenot Children's Library, and the money that is allocated to the Huguenot Children's Library is very specifically taken from monies that were left over from the partnership of the Huguenot Children's Library. When they merged with the foundation, the funds were kept separate, and the caveat was, as part of this merger, the separate funds would generate income, and the income would be used specifically and only for the Children's Library. And so our Children's Library head, Susan Moorhead, along with our head of Children's Services, Bobby Simic, put together a proposal of $31,000 that will cover all sorts of programming and other items that you can see here. So, if you have questions, I'm willing to entertain them.
Is it on?
Yes, I think so.
So no, I don't have questions about what you just noted, Tom. I do have questions about the annual report and more of a request. So just, again, if you can remind me of when was it submitted? Was it submitted over a month ago? Yeah. Okay. So just in the future, it's helpful. There's a lot of really good information, and it's so different to be able to see it in writing as opposed to as we're listening to you tell us. So I would request that we get sent that and just in the future to get it ahead of time. It's just nice to be able to read through it, to be able to process. You're pointing to?
Sorry, no, when we do the state report, we submit to WMS first.
Right.
We go through it to make sure that we hit all the points that we should, and if we have to finesse some numbers and things like that. So then we get it back again.
I understand. But I'm just saying, we're being asked to vote on it tonight, so.
Once we submit it, we can send it off to you, is that what you're asking for? Not wait a month?
I guess what I'm asking is, if I'm being asked to vote and approve something tonight, it would be nice to be able to see it processed and then to be able to.
I think we
so
asked for that last year too, because this is an amazing.
It really is, and,
shares, yeah.
and I would just also recommend that there are some key things in there in terms of highs, and also lows, not to say that that's a bad thing for the library, but to share the reality of, what our some of the situations are with the library, right? And so if attendance drops, we should be able to say between one year and another year, this is why. So it's not just the number, but the stories behind it. And to be able to have some presentation that we can get a better sense of what this all means and how it all works together. So it's more of a request than a.
So this was submitted to WLS, and we're waiting for their response of their review?
No, we have already gotten the response to their review, and then once I get their response and they say, okay, it's ready to be submitted, we need you to approve it.
So we're the final.
Basically, yes.
And when did we? So-
They get everybody's together and all goes to the state.
What's the date by which they need it?
They usually tell me, I think, March 31st.
So we're late?
We're always late, everybody's late.
Pretty much most libraries.
We have to send it to WLS by March 31st. They go through all the 38 libraries. They go
Right.
through everybody's, come back with the questions, and to Lucille's point, whether or not we were high one year and low the next, they asked us for a statement as to why, and we put that in the report. And then, once everybody's approved, I guess they put it together and sent it to the state.
Gotcha.
Under WLS back.
So did we just get this week back from WLS?
No. I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
Okay.
And I had shared it.
So to Lucille's point.
Right.
We should have gotten it.
So maybe when you send it to WLS, you can send it to us too, with the understanding that some things may get modified because,
Okay.
and you can tell us, these things may, they may come in, we don't know. And then when you share it with us in time for the vote, you can say WLS raised these points and we fixed them.
But I think just getting it back with WLS, if they sent it, let's say 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah, then that's
We
fine.
can get it,
Right.
and then we can come to this meeting or the next one.
It's fascinating, and it's
That's
like
all.
so much work, collective work, and it's really it fills in all of these holes of understanding and paints a really great picture, and I know how hard this is, the real data, and it's all here, so it's,
And I have to say, relative to Jean's comments about being late, it is a titanic effort, and I can honestly say, most libraries, except for some of the smaller libraries that have a less sophisticated operation, are late. And I would wager that there may yet still be a few libraries that are late. And of course, this was the bone of contention about Mount Vernon, that they had not submitted one for a number of years. But we certainly can do that. I did share this document with you, Whitney, a few weeks ago.
Yes.
And I would have, in the future, you will get it once WLS sends it back to us with their imprimatur.
And most of them is just fascinating information, just too fascinating, and you don't have time to dig into it now, so.
but we can share, and the one you sent me was post WLS.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had very few questions this year.
Yeah.
So we can share this just so we have it all for this year, and then subsequent year too, and then we'll even be able to compare now 3 years, because you'll have this from last year. So then my next question is, when does the state need it?
I don't know. About the end of June.
End of June? Well, could we wait till June to vote on it? Or do you want us?
We waited 1 year until October.
Yeah.
So my question is, would you feel more comfortable reviewing it? in
Oh,
the
because the next
month?
meeting is June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we can vote on it then? I mean, I don't.
Yeah, they're not asking me for anything, this is more of a form of.
I think
I think I'm totally comfortable voting on it because I know that the information that's in it is the right information.
Circulated constantly.
Knowing Jean and Elizabeth and all that. It's really just more that I'd love to dig in.
To get a look at it once it's,
Yeah.
once
And maybe
it's
I
accepted by
can't-
WLS.
I came across some things that I'm just curious about why are they the way they are and, just a chance to ask some questions, not tonight, but.
Okay, so then let's make Jean's life easier and get the vote out. And then we can share this digitally.
Yeah,
Just
that'd be
in
great.
the future, we're just saying the practice should be,
Yes.
before we get anything to vote on, we need to get it.
Yes.
So that we can read it. If we don't read it beforehand, that's on us.
Right, and we can make a note, like, these are the votes expected at the upcoming meeting.
Right.
And here's what you should know in advance,
Yeah.
just general to the practice.
And I'll just add one more thing. There's so much good information in there that as we're also in a budget year, and as we're talking about the budget, they're just, to be able to say the rise was this percent for, that's helpful to have. So just, it all, it's a plus,
Good reference.
just to get.
I think, Lucille, to your point, some of the highlights that we have in the mailer that's going out was actually pulled from the data that we did. That's helpful. The state report.
Oh, the connecting dots
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
All coming together now. Excellent, okay, good, all right.
Can you pass it
Sure,
down
yes.
here?
Sorry.
This side hasn't.
Yes, you're right, I'm sorry, I should go that way. Sorry. Tom, I think he's still talking.
No, I'm actually pretty much done. I'm just wondering about
You wanna pass?
I don't know that we necessarily need a vote on the foundation grant requests, but is it a sense of the board you're approving what
We usually do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think then Tom goes to the foundation and then asks for their approval, but we should do that first. Does everyone feel comfortable with what Tom described and outlined and asked of the foundation?
Yes.
Okay, I'll just make a motion to approve this wish list for the 2023-2024 fiscal year for the foundation that comes from us to the foundation. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Isn't it 22, 23?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
said-
it's 23-24, this is a typo, but what I'm
okay.
saying is true. So with
Okay,
the
got it.
correction made of 23-24, then can I get a second on that?
Second.
Good, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Good, thank you, so wish list has
Thank you.
passed with that one correction
done.
made. Oh wait, that's mine. Take that, thank you. And you're done, okay, great, thank you. Personnel?
No
Nothing.
No personnel report tonight.
Nothing, and then that brings us to our Assistant Director's Report, and Elizabeth. I feel like she's like our special guest star every time. Welcome.
I confuse everyone because I change seats all the
That's
time.
okay, that's all right. Going with the flow.
So, the focus of this month's report is, of course, our strategic plan, particularly Goal 2 and Goal 5. The strategic plan, Goal 2 is about technology, and Goal 5 is about increasing the library's visibility. So Daniel Jerry, our IT supervisor, attended the 2023 Computers and Libraries Conference, where the theme was Tech Partners for Community Sustainability. The conference focused on emerging and leading-edge technology that allows libraries to engage with and bring strategic values to our patron community. So he brought back a lot of ideas that we will be incorporating into Goal 2 of our strategic plan. Additionally, we are working with the adult services staff on a technology skills inventory, where we kind of document the skills that they have in terms of technology, what their training needs are, and what classes that they can teach. So this will really help us in terms of staff development and also in terms of the classes that we will be offering our patrons. We are now on the verge of circulating our iPads, which we received through the Emergency Connectivity Fund. The iPads, along with the Chromebooks and hotspots, will be an integral part of our mobile technology lab. And I think, as you heard from Tom, in our advocacy visits to various neighborhood associations, we learned that our 2 senior sites is really looking for technology instruction, so we are working internally to finalize logistics and scheduling. Last but not least, as part of our Goal 5, Larry Sheldon, our local history librarian, contributed to an article to be published in the New York Archive magazine. The New York Archive magazine is published quarterly by the Archives Partnership Trust, and it's really a part of New York State history, which is revealed to us through archival documents. And the article is based on the Taylor case, which is a 1961 court case that found the Board of Education of the City of New Rochelle had intentionally created and maintained the Lincoln Elementary School as a racially segregated school and not acted in good faith to implement desegregation as required by the 14th Amendment. So we're really looking forward to the publication of this article, and once that article is published, be happy to share it with all of you. Last but not least, we are expecting a member of Representative Bowman's Constituents Services team to have a table here where they're going to be helping people with all kinds of issues, such as immigration, any other issues they might have. So it's been a very exciting month in terms of our strategic planning.
Thank you. Wonderful. Any questions? No? That's great. Thank you. I love getting the goal-specific updates
Yes.
on progress. It's really helpful and kind of helps paint the picture as we move forward through it. Good. Thank you. Any questions? No questions? That brings us to committee reports. Budget committee. The only thing I'll say, I already went through my spiel during the budget hearing at 7. We did send out a report to the community, so that's now out there. It shows the differential in budget and puts out our magic number of $24.07 as an increase. So, please familiarize yourself with that and any other numbers and talk up the importance of passing our budget on May 16th, and I will leave it at that, unless Rhiannon or Corey has anything to say. Budget committee, nope. Good. Buildings and grounds?
No report.
Thank you. Community relations?
Yeah. I'll be brief, but there's so much great stuff to talk about, so I could go on for a long time, but Lucille said I should be brief, so I'll be brief. April and May, another really busy, fantastic month, library offerings, programming. I'll just highlight a few things that stand out. Earth Day was a great celebration at Anderson Plaza, and the public library was there to hand out cards and card applications, library info. That was great. It was a great event overall. I want to say personally thank you to Toby and the team for the Meet the Authors event. Unfortunately, we got kind of washed out. The weather was so bad. But even for the authors, it was great to connect with other local authors. And we did have some people come in, and it was just a really great event. So thank you again for setting that up. It was really well organized. And next time, when there's no monsoon, I'm sure it'll be even better. That was the terrible day last weekend where it wouldn't stop. But it was great. A couple of things I want to highlight that are coming up that are really exciting. Our Children, Our Artists exhibit is outside, currently in the lobby. Starting today, so May 4 to 14 will be the art of the lower school kids, and then upper school will be from May 19 to June 1st. And there are some really good artists displaying their work, so I highly recommend going and take a look at it. And then the Children's Library has their 25th birthday celebration on May 20th, and there'll be a little birthday party there, and I'm sure it'll be fun to attend. And then I do want to quickly talk about the sewing program that's launching, because we've heard about the grants and voted on the grants, and now it's actually starting. And the classes start May 23rd, and it'll be 3 weeks in a row. For adults, it'll be from 12 to 2, and for teens, it'll be from 4 to 6. So I'm sure that'll be fun. And then just really quickly, it's always so amazing to see the list from the Help and Learning Center, and it's something that when we were out talking about the budget, there was so much interest and so much feedback on how great these programs are and how they're helping. So just want to highlight a few of them because some times have changed and some new things are starting. So the English Conversation Club is now on Monday evenings from 6:30 to 7:30. I don't know, what was it before that? The time got changed. Tuesday, so it's now on Monday, so that's important to know. The summer session registration for ESL has begun, classes with the Westchester Community College, and those start in person on July 11th. Citizenship classes are meeting again, double sessions in May, on May 20th and 27th, that's from 1 to 3. And the notary services that are a big hit, and we got asked about a lot actually when we're out, continue, and the next one is May 19th from 6 to 7:30. Those are some of the highlights I picked.
I think it's just worth mentioning that the sewing program that Rhiannon shared, it's a limited number because of the nature of the work, all booked up
Yeah, I'm
almost
surprised.
immediately. Yeah.
So great.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, so it starts on the 23rd for 3 weeks?
3 consecutive weeks.
Every day, or only on one day?
Only on, what is the 23rd? Hold on.
That is a Tuesday, I think, Wednesday?
The May 23rd is a Tuesday.
Yeah, it's
So it's,
the 19th is a Friday.
yes, so is it every Tuesday, the sewing?
No, it's weekly.
3 Tuesdays.
On the Tuesdays, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so on the
3
Tuesdays,
Tuesdays,
and
got it.
adults is 12 to 2, and teens are 4 to 6, but they're already booked, so. They're already booked.
You know, it was interesting, Lisa and Geraldo are busy getting out the information, and sometimes it goes someplace, and other times great programs get ignored. This was picked up by News Channel 12 and really evoked a big response. So we're excited to see this move forward, and in the future, we'll be circulating sewing machines, so that'll be,
Yeah.
And how many people does it serve per session?
I think it's 8 to 10. 10, yeah.
So then we would say on every Tuesday we get 20 people. Okay, so then it's 3, so we have 60 people who are going to be learning, and is it the same
That's
people?
It's going to be the same people, that's the,
Same 20.
right,
That's what I
right,
was-
it's a process, right, right.
No,
I want to take that.
And it's really popular.
Yeah.
Just piggybacking on what you said about News 12, Tom, so they picked up that we were doing the sessions, right? So now the great follow-up would be the first session, I think. And again, I would just, I don't know if we're if we're the only, or we're one of few libraries
One
in
of
the
the few,
county.
yeah.
But again, another thing, I think it's worth letting them know that it's starting, so that they can come.
I think one of the
and if
things
there's
that
a,
we did when we put this out there was, oftentimes our programs are available to everybody. We don't discriminate relative to where someone lives, but we're going to see how this first session goes, and we may need to limit it to New Rochelle residents only, which it's sort of counterintuitive to what we do, but it may be fairest because the foundation that gave us this money, it was directly supposed to be aimed at at New Rochelle residents.
or if you say it's limited to 10 people, the first 7 go to New Rochelle, the other
Right.
3, right, to at least, but it would be good to track and see where folks are coming from.
Right.
Yeah.
I can tell you that this is an issue that SAP will be watching, because we think this could be something really bigger, and we're just sort of starting out. I think one of the issues is finding instructors, people who, and that was a real struggle to find somebody, but we found somebody wonderful. Brooklyn has a program, and we were actually using Brooklyn Public Library as a model, and I know Lisa Iskowitz, who was really one of the people that really was the moving forward with this, has spoken with numbers of libraries, but Brooklyn has been useful, and we're going to continue to learn, and I think there's a real appetite for this and other DIY sorts of things for teens and for children even, and we're just looking, we're always being given new opportunities for ways to connect with our community. We were recently contacted by, the Agricultural Extension Service, connected with Cornell, and they have a chapter here in Westchester. And so they have these amazing programs for children and teens, and we didn't know about them, but, the staff saw it, and, we may not be able to deploy these sorts of programs for the summer, but certainly we're going to be exploring, fall and onward. And so it's just, it's a learning process, but it's exciting. And it's great to say that our staff, all of our staff, and not just community relations staff, we're all sort of trying to find ways to engage with our residents, because that's what it's all about.
Thank you. Thanks, Rhiannon, and thanks, everybody, for all these great programs. Personnel Committee,
I'm going to be brief.
thanks.
Please.
Yes. I have nothing to
Oh,
report.
sorry, I'm sorry, I skipped finance.
You did, I have nothing to report.
You had nothing to report, sorry, see, I knew that, that's why I did that, subconscious, thank you, sorry, Cory. Personnel Committee,
She already said nothing.
she said nothing. That's how brief. Oh my gosh, sorry, I missed your brevity, and made you have to be longer than you intended, so my bad, sorry. Policy Committee? Nothing. Again, so because we're focused on the budget and the vote coming up, we don't have anything to talk about, but please watch your emails, board, because the policy committee will be circulating some documents related to the room rental policy and the naming policy that it would like you to review, because we will likely be asking for a vote specifically for the room rental policy. And so keep an eye out.
We'll be voting at the next meeting on
We're
that?
hoping to, yeah, we're hoping to. Special projects?
Nothing to report.
Nothing. Public discussion. I hear crickets. So,
Children.
yeah, little ones, anything to say? You like it? It's good stuff? Yeah, titillating. Good, great. Then, any other comments, thoughts, questions? Vote on May 16th? Vote on May 16th? Vote yes? Yes, please,
Were we
Randon.
supposed to vote on this?
Oh, yeah, the annual report that Jean submitted. Do you have any questions? Anyone of you having just most recently looked at it tonight? Okay, so then, yeah, so I can make a motion to vote to approve the annual report as submitted to WLS, reviewed by WLS, returned, and now it will be submitted to the state. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No, then we have approved that submission. Thank you.
And we will send that document to you shortly.
Thank you for your hard work on this. Great, then last but not least, motion to adjourn. Anyone?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Great, can we get a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Sarah. Corey made the motion, Sarah seconded, and we all say aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Meeting adjourned.
You're going to sign that?